child has a right to their parents. Every child has a right to their mom or dad. So if it's your issue, okay, your marriage is not working out, it's between you both. Don't transfer it to the child.
Yes.
Yeah, because there are still some good dad out there that want to be a father to the child.
And there are some good women out there as well, moms who want to be mothers as well. But because of that frustration, being torn in between as a child, you can't talk to your mother, you can't talk to your father, then you're seeing probably the way your mother is saying, oh, your dad, he was a nobody. What did he help me? What did he do?
What did he do?
So now as a child, you're innocent, and then you're like, how can I trust someone else?
Exactly. And at times, these children will want to I want to make mommy happy. So I don't have to talk to my dad. I have this friend, she's going through it. I'm so happy. She keeps saying, no, the issue I have is between me and my ex. I say, my ex is a good dad. She didn't deprive the ex of the children. She didn't deprive the children of the father. No, go do your thing. Whenever it's the dad's turn to pick up she allows them. You'll be like, no, my ex is an amazing dad. I don't want my children to be deprived of that, which I think is a fair judgment. If you have issue with your spouse, don't transfer that onto the children.
Yes. And then also again, like bad mouthing the other party in front of your children. Hello. Welcome to
Conversation on the Car
with
Rachel and Tebby.
Oh, what a beautiful day to be alive.
Yes. And I can feel the sunshine.
It's springing.
Yeah.
The weather is springing.
We are getting over the winter time, the cold period. When I saw the sun this morning, I was so excited. And that 5-ish, that is getting bright already. You'll be so happy.
Finally, you can hang your clothes outside.
I know.
That's the only thing that I normally look forward to, actually.
Yes.
Putting your clothes outside and then not having to hang them inside the house for over a week. You're still drying
on the radiator.
We'll do better. So today we thought about discussing what it means to come from a broken home.
The damages, the effects on, do we say?
Both on, is it from the parent's perspective or from the child's perspective?
The child's perspective, because most of those parents move on at the end of the day. But what about the child?
The child, yes. Once the couple has decided to part ways, it is the children that suffers.
Because most of the people I've known that, that were involved in this thing, they move on and they are so happy. But what about the child?
The people that you brought into this world. What happens to them?
Oh, yeah.
I remember when my dad and mom separated. My younger sister, she was so young that it really affected her the more. I was, I think, like in form 5, and I'd been used to the boarding school. But because for her, she had been home for such a long time, when they brought her to boarding to join me, you could see the frustration. And even as she grew up to go to secondary school, to uni, she still held
it.
She still
emptiness.
The emptiness. That emptiness. She always questions herself as to why my mom and my dad never worked out. I don't know why. Me as a person, I think because I was used to like kind of hopping from one family to the other while growing up. I didn't get to live within that environment of home of mom and dad. It was always with a relative or someone else. But for her, she really was affected.
For me, it's not like I've experienced it before, but I think I have some loved ones that have gone through, divorce, broken home, and I see the way the children struggles to fit in. Children looking for like a father figure where is the dad, trying to communicate with the dad before the dad can be accessible to the children, or maybe the children are with the mom, trying to get a hold of the dad, trying to get a hold of the mom. It's a struggle. But you know what, in a nuclear home, or maybe where the marriage is okay, the child can easily access the
both parents. Yes.
Yeah. But in a situation whereby, you know, they are separate, they've gone their separate ways, the children struggle.
And whereby some parents have held on to some sort of resentment.
And oh my goodness.
You're punishing your child.
Yeah. Because I saw something on social media. This babe, she's a lovely babe, but she's going through divorce, and it was a messy, in fact it is a messy divorce because it's still happening right now. And this dad, in fact, she was the one that was singing the praise of the husband. All of a sudden, because there was an issue in the marriage and they couldn't proceed with the marriage, now she is now spitting that bitterness into the children. Like, your dad is the worst dad ever, and she was not like that before. But something just changed in her. Now, the last daughter's graduation that I saw on the internet, she didn't let the man come. And the first daughter, the man was all over the place. The man was so excited. But because the man moved on, the babe didn't get over it. So this man has moved on. Now I'm still here taking care of the children.
So they couples, either one couple, both of them will hold that form of resentment, and then it will be passed on to the child.
Children, which I don't think is fair, Rachel, because I believe that every child has a right to their parents. Every child has a right to their mom or dad. So if it's your issue, okay, you know your marriage is not working out, it's between you both. Don't transfer it to the child.
Yes.
Yeah, because there are still some good dad out there that want to be a father to the child.
And there are some good women out there as well, moms who want to be mothers as well. But because of that frustration, being torn in between as a child, you can't talk to your mother, you can't talk to your father, then you're seeing probably the way your mother is saying, oh, your dad, he was a nobody. You know, what did he help me? What did he do?
What did he do?
So now as a child, you're innocent, and then you're like, how can I trust someone else?
Exactly. And at times, these children will want to just I want to make mommy happy. So I don't have to talk to my dad. I have this friend, she's going through it. I'm so happy. She keeps saying, no, the issue I have is between me and my ex. I says, my ex is a good dad. She didn't deprive the ex of the children. She didn't deprive the children of the fatherly love. You know, go do your thing. Whenever it's the dad's turn to pick up the she allows them. You'll be like, no, my ex is an amazing dad. I don't want my children to be deprived of that. Which I think is a fair judgment. If you have issue with your spouse, don't transfer that onto the children.
Yes. And then also again, like, bad mouthing the other party in front of your children. And I think for me that was the one thing that my mother never did. You know, you get to know these things like after you've grown up, like, oh, what really happened? Like, why is it that it never worked out? But for an adult to actually transfer that frustration onto a child and tell you, or probably your father didn't do this, didn't help me in this way, or maybe it's a man is like your mother left you, you know, that.
And I think psychologically this thing affects the children. Look at the lady I told you about, the girl that was going for a graduation, and the last time the dad was around, the dad was around for the eldest daughter's graduation. But because this one now, that day she cried all morning before she could even wear a dress, like, my dad is not here now. And it's because of the relationship is now as bad as they don't even want to see each other. So it's not affecting the children. What about the psychology? Are they even feeling it that there is an human in this thing we are trying to do that is affecting psychological effects on the children as well? And
also something in them that can actually prevent the child from forming healthy relationships.
That is the serious part, because when they grow, I think there's this lady that I always say, well, I never had a father figure, so I don't.
Independence syndrome.
They be like, I don't even know how it works.
Yeah.
I never had a father figure. I don't even know how it works.
How does it
How will
work?
I behave with a man that they've never seen a woman and a man sitting in a living room watching TV together?
And
so when is my turn? How am I going to?
And having comfortable conversations whereby you're not hurling insults at each other.
Yeah, you're not agitated
fighting
already.
Yes.
You are not here. Yeah, all these things we are doing, you know, our children, they learn.
You're sat together and you're actually having healthy relations that your children can kind of look up to and be like, okay, this is how this is a man
sort issues.
This is how a man treats a woman, or this is how a woman treats a man. But all the time, the man is probably throwing something at you.
Exactly.
There are punches running left, right, and center. You know, you're cursing. How do you expect that child to grow up? What?
There is this issue I heard that, in fact, it's they are old now, but they said the relationship was so toxic that the dad kept on hitting the mom. At the end of the day, because of what happened, in fact, the woman died. The woman died, but the man is still around. In fact, they said when the man is hitting the mom, they'll tell the children, hit your mom too because she's a bad woman. She's a popular singer in Nigeria. She was a popular singer in Nigeria. Hit your mom. The man is in prison now. But I'm thinking, what will happen to these four kids?
That popular musician.
Yeah, bless her soul. Yeah. So hit your mom. But I keep thinking, what will happen to these children
when they have grown up and
how are they going to treat their own women?
Yeah, and they have their own relationships.
Yeah. So
what trauma are they going to transfer? Yes. What aggression are they and they are meeting someone else's daughter or son as well that you have been training.
Oh God. So it takes therapy for those kind of children to be cleansed from all those kind of things.
And I also think that coming from such an environment might actually make you lower your levels of self-esteem. Because sometimes as women, and I don't know if you've heard of this, that a man who doesn't beat you doesn't love you.
Oh, Jesus, I've never heard of that. You've never
heard of that?
No.
That if a man doesn't beat you, then he doesn't love you.
No way. Don't beat me. Leave me alone. Beating. No.
You imagine that level of esteem.
No.
Thinking that if my man is beating me, then he loves me.
No.
What kind of environment are you allowing your children to
grow up?
Grow up into?
No.
And what values are you instilling in your girls if you have girls? That it's okay to be beaten?
Exactly, because they will just grow up with that bad behavior, that violence.
Yes.
In fact, not just them growing up in that, because even, when we're talking about parenting in the diaspora, we're talking about the kids, the way they behave in school. You know what the teachers first ask? What is happening at home? When a child is not, is not behaving the way they should at school. Maybe they are fighting their friends and all that. They will ask them, what is happening? Is daddy and mommy okay?
Is mommy and daddy fighting?
Are they fighting? Yeah. Because definitely when you are doing that in front of your kids, now you are telling them anything they want to do in life. When they are trying to solve a case, they have to start.
Fights,
it's about fist,
verbal, insults,
violence,
any form of violence.
Which is not a good thing, and it's not fair on these kids, because I believe every child that is given to us is just like a plain sheet. So whatever is garbage in, garbage out. Whatever you input in them is what you get. You want an independent child later in the future, someone that is morally fit and all that. You have to model it to these children for them to see that my dad and mom loves each other. Because when even me as a married woman, if I want to have an argument with my husband, I don't do it when my children are there. When they are present, I'll make sure I'll just take it in. No way. I take it in, I just hold myself, even when we are in the car and all that. We will never argue in front of them. Because when you're arguing, in fact, these children, these two kids, Dad and Mom, are you okay? Why is Mom angry? They will even be in your business and they will be worried. You don't want them to go through that kind of emotional stress, emotional distress. Like, because they want to see that joy in your faces. Daddy is okay, mommy is okay. But in a situation whereby they are not seeing it, this thing affects the children.
As you said the last time, you as a parent, it is your number one responsibility to make sure that these children are safe. And by them being safe, it's also creating that safe environment for them.
Have you seen a child that you'll be like, are you happy? You say, no, I'm not happy because dad and mom is fighting. Do you want your child to go through that kind of stress? It's not fair on them because it's your own issue. Sort your own issue and leave them out of it.
Leave them out of it, yes. And also, even as children, as they grow up, do you know when say the couples have left and they are not together, probably you grow up with a single mother or a single father, there is always that, how do they call it? Is it the independent syndrome? Independent syndrome, like, I can do it by myself. I don't need a woman in my life. What is a woman for?
And I think I've seen some older children that my parents failed in marriage and I don't want to fail. And they're so sensitive about everything they are doing. I've seen a child, and it was my friend. The parent failed in marriage and he's so careful about his wife. Like, no, I don't want to go through this. I don't want my wife to go through the stress my mom went through. So he's so careful with his wife. He's the one taking care of the wife, making sure the wife is not angry.
That's another side to it as well.
Yes, which is the good side.
But then also fear of being left because you've seen it happen and you don't want it for yourself. You don't want it for yourself. So you hold on to it because you've always probably dreamt of having a family. So even if
your parent failed,
so even if the woman is battered, because there are men who actually go through domestic violence. And if the woman is battling you'll be like, no, my parents failed. Or I didn't have a father figure. So I'm going, men also stay in marriages for their kids.
I don't know, Rachel, maybe you watch this program, Love is Blind. The recent one, oh my goodness. The guy was a lovely guy and he met this girl and they fell in love. Their love was so beautiful. And on the day of marriage, the girl said yes and the boy said no. But the boy kept saying something, which I believe is the foundation that maybe the girl should have seen, but she didn't say it. The guys kept saying, my dad failed in marriage. My dad cheated a lot, and I don't want to be that. My dad cheated a lot, and I don't want to be that person. My dad didn't let the marriage work. My mom was amazing. And he keeps saying, the dad was a lovely dad to him. But their marriage didn't work because my dad failed in marriage. All of a sudden, on the day of the marriage, that the girl was expecting this boy to say yes. The boy said no. And the girl was crying. And why did you say that? He said yes, because my parents failed in marriage. I'm afraid I don't want to fail you
as well. Now imagine that boy has been carrying that trauma for all that time. Do you think that for us as Africans, when your mother and father decide to part their ways, they never sit you down and tell you that we've decided to part our ways.
And I think,
but have you seen that in the white setting? Most of the times they will shed you and then they will sit their children down
and they'll be happy when they are saying it as if it's a normal conversation.
But do you think that we also fail as African parents on such things to kind of really keep the children in the know? Because you've brought these children into the world. You owe them as I said, my sister carried this thing with her, and I didn't know how much it bothered her until we had a conversation.
Rachel, I think for me, if they sit them down to tell them and they didn't, at the end of the day, the effect will still be on that child.
It will be
because I noticed there is this emotional game they now play. Because there is this lady I spoke to, she'll be like, she wants to move on, and the daughter keeps, no, mommy, I don't like that person because it's not my normal, not like my dad. I don't like that person. And at the end of the day, she now said, she played the emotional game on her, like, you don't want me to be happy. You want me to be happy. You want mommy to be happy. He said, yes, I want mommy to be happy. So, at the end of the day, but I just believe life happens, and when life happens, you just have to live it.
Yes, which is true. Once life happens, you have to live it. But then you have to be aware that there are other parties
that you need to consider.
As well. because I think that it's a form of selfishness when you leave that
because
burden.
it really has an effect on them.
It has, because
their sensitivity, their behavior, everything changes.
Everything changes, because I can tell you that from
self-esteem, like you
me
said.
who has come from a broken home, there are times I wake up and I'm like, I can do this. My mother did it. My mother raised me single-handed. But it's at
it's the mindset.
It's the mindset, because simply because your husband has done one small thing, it is the mindset.
And what of the stress the children goes through? They are calling daddy, they are thinking of traveling to daddy's place, they are spending time with mommy. What of the stress? Why are you But life, like I said, life is not fair.
No, life does happen at the end of the day. But when it happens,
because nobody planned for a divorce, nobody planned for a broken home.
Nobody.
But at times when the life happens, just know how you walk around it, that while you are living this life, you are carrying some people along. And it has to be sensitive. It's a complicated thing. You need to now consider those people you are carrying along, because they are your responsibility as well. And think of what they feel. What
they feel. And then also, how is it going to impact them as they grow up? Have constant discussions. Don't look at them as children.
Have you seen an angry man, like he's so angry, or an angry lady? Because of what has happened to her in the past. What has happened to the mom's marriage, what has happened to the dad's marriage. And he's so angry. Something is happening in Nigeria at the moment about a guy, he was a singer, Mohbad. Oh my God, it's because the home is broken, the home was shattered. Even the boy was not even able to live long because of the mess in the home already. So it affects them negatively. I've never seen the positive one, like the ones I told you earlier, but because the boy was so conscious that this happened to my dad, this is my daddy's failure, this was my mom's failure, I don't want to go into it.
So a lot of things do come up as a result of two couples who once loved each other and then decide to call it quits. They normally say that once two elephants fight, it's the grass that suffers.
What about in a situation whereby you need to instill discipline and the act of rebellion, they will be the one that they will be reporting in school, because where is the daddy? The daddy is not even there when they, but when a child has a father figure, like, hey, they will report you to your dad and he knows. But the little time daddy wants to spend with the child, you'll be like, you don't want to spoil it for that child. So you are not even telling the child off. You don't want,
Even sometimes feeling like you're left out.
You are left out,
you're looking around, you can't see your father, you can't see your mother. Other kids have...
This week we did something in our home. I was telling my daughter to pray. What are you thankful for? She now said, there was a day I saw we had a program at school. So daddy, I was so sad that daddy and mommy didn't come. All of that my parents were not there. All of it, so I just saw dad and mom, and I was so happy. I'm like, I'm like, oh my God, this little blessing. And that was what she was thanking God for, that the mom and dad
being present.
So at times we just have to consider all this.
So even when couples are no longer together, don't deprive them of such opportunity. If both of them are willing to be there, because it's one thing for probably if you're with the children as a woman and you call the man to show up and they don't show up, that's another situation. But if the man is willing to be present in their lives, in their journey, whether they are contributing financially or not. I mean, if God has blessed you as a woman,
I love that point, Rachel.
Yes,
because you see some people, what has he done? What has he? No.
He has given his sperm. What else do you want?
No, raising kids is not easy.
It is not easy.
Don't deprive the child.
But don't deprive the child from being with that,
being loved
by the other party. There could probably be conversations that they can have that money can't buy. So whether the man or the woman is providing or not, if they are still willing to be in their children's lives, then other than that, it's been conversations on the couch with Rachel and Tebi. I mean, discussing about what it means to come from a broken home. The effects on a child as they are young and as they grow up. So until next time, guys, bye.